Okay, September 13th, 2020, 2022. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man.
Team No Sleep is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Montel Allen, how you living, man? How you living?
Man, blessed as usual, man. Happy with the fam.
Yeah,
Good thing with the 9 to 5. Can't ask for much. The weather's been a little bit crazy, but we fight through that, so we're gonna be all right.
that's true. That's true. And you still Midwest or in the
Yeah,
center of the states, right there, doing your thing, handling your business. We trying to survive out here with all these fires and all in Northern California. So we gonna try to just push through. Senior Hicks
absolutely.
is in the building, so the show, ladies and gentlemen, is officially underway. Let's get into it. Lot of mm, not a lot of positivity this week. that we no, you know what? Let me start with something positive that we didn't even talk about in the pre-show. Mr. Tiafo, right? He did what he needed to do in the U.S. Open, and shouts out to Tiafo for making it through to the semifinals and for listen when you got Michelle Obama in the audience watching you play, you doing something
hmm
right. You're doing something
Oh
right.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'm Team Tiafo all way. Team
man,
Tiafo
no,
all
don't
way.
let him get a jersey. I'm gonna get me a jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, he. I mean, he's bringing a different energy, I think, to tennis, man. And like I said, we haven't had as much influence with people of color
Yeah.
over in the male side of tennis as much as we had in the women's side. So I think Team Tiafo, Michael Chang was probably the biggest thing that we had, before pre-Arthur, I
Yeah.
mean, after post-Arthur Ashe and them.
Right. Right.
But Michael Chang was the biggest thing. And now we have Tiafo, who's kind of got that young hip hop energy, bringing, that kind of swag he's bringing to tennis. As long as he continues success, I think, his fan base will grow, out of this world. And, like I said, Team No Sleep is Team Tiafo right now.
I
So
love.
we
Yeah,
riding
that's
with the
it.
man
That's
and
it.
wishing nothing but love.
But notice the shade of tennis now. Notice the
Mm.
shade. We got Tiafo. We got Naomi. We
Yep.
got Coco.
Yep.
Right. Nothing wrong with being right. Right. We got some
Yeah.
representation out there in the sport. Now we just need to get Tiger to bring some more folks in because listen, we can get out there and we can do all these sports. We need to get into hockey. We need to get into all these sports and
Yeah.
show that we can compete at that high level as well and show some representation. But yeah, it's a really good thing to see people that look like you doing big things like this, especially when it's influential on the youngsters, right?
Yes.
You know
Yes.
that we can get out
Yeah. I
there and
think. I
do
think.
other things.
I. I think they all bring it that different energy. I mean, our generation, like you said, the Serena sisters there. We were privileged to have the Tiger era in our
Yeah,
generation.
yeah,
This generation is a little bit different, but now they're starting to emerge. Is some of the elite athletes in their sports as well. And I think you're right. I think it's we need representation of all people, of all colors, in all sports, so
right.
we can always see someone that looks like us, participating, so we can achieve those goals. The only time we really get to see that is in the Olympics, most likely in a lot of countries.
True, true.
Now we're starting to see it on the platform of professional sports in the United States, and I think it's just a great thing, man. I'm happy for anybody that's doing good, white, black, brown, green, and purple, as long as they're doing the right thing. And
Look at
and I'm
that.
a
Happy
fan
for
of theirs.
anybody that's just doing good. Go ahead,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man. Just being successful, man. I think this is the time to celebrate instead of hate. We don't need to hate on each other. I think it's enough. It's enough. It's enough of the. It's enough. It's enough money and respect and privilege and applause to go around to
Mhm.
everybody. I think we just got to acknowledge everybody that's doing good, and those that aren't doing so good, let's lift them up as well, man. Because I think there's enough for everybody to get theirs.
I love it.
And
Everybody can get that bag, right? Everybody can get
yeah.
that bag. I'm gonna save some NFL, some football for the end because maybe we can let in on a little bit of a lighter note because
Mhm.
even though my Steelers didn't, never
They
mind.
won.
Even though
They
my Steelers,
won.
they just don't look right though. I'm not going. We're gonna talk about that yet. They just don't look right. I'm not ready for Trubinsky. Uh, Bad news, right? Again, we always start with the social impact story, and we got a couple of things that are jumping off out there in society right now. Uh, Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves, out here being emotional and sending out tweets and sending out social media posts without thinking about it, talking negatively about specific people, using anti-gay comments in his Instagram video, and he got caught. Obviously, he put it out there on social media. It doesn't go away. And then he gets caught and he wants to apologize then. It doesn't go away, but obviously he put it out there. He's ashamed. He says he's sorry. He wishes he hadn't done it. It cost him in his wallet.
Yeah.
You know, and he's not the only one. And one thing that I have seen for sure, regardless of the sport, primarily in the NBA, they will get you. I mean, Silver is on top of it for cracking down on folks who spur and spew hate messages. You know, like look at these fines right here: $50,000 fine to Kevin Durant. Look, big time all-star superstar, so he's gonna get a fine. Nikolai Djokovic, $25,000 fine for saying some offensive and derogatory things. And the one and only Mr. Kobe Bryant as well, right? He said some things to a referee back in 2011, $100,000 fine. So, talk to me what you think about this, man, because again, these young cats know about social media. They know that this stuff doesn't go away, and just to be out here spewing and saying hateful things like this because you caught up in the moment, it's almost like there's definitely an underlying problem, right?
Well, I think you know we're in that cancel culture now. So definitely, you know, right now you can't say those things. You have to be careful what you say on social media. And you know, I'm not making this as an excuse, but he's young. He's young. He doesn't know his way around probably social media. How speaking in these types of situations, how they can be detrimental to his career. Let's detract. Let's focus on Adam Silverman as a commissioner of the NBA. I think he's one of the first openly gay commissioners.
True.
So that's one thing. You know, that's one thing. And two, you know, he set the foundation in the stern, saying that we're not going to do this anymore. You know, you have to be careful with your words because your words hurt. You're not going to use that, even if it's a part of your vernacular, which in hip hop in our Black community for so long, and it's always been a part of our vernacular, right? When we want to insult somebody or say something, we will use that gay slur to describe what we're trying to say or to insult somebody. I think Kobe, he put a stop to it, and he's putting a stop to it to other stars that says anything. And now we're here in 2022, going to 23. You really got to be careful. And I think Anthony Edwards, just being young and not educated on what he needs to say and how to articulate himself, use those words. And now he's going to be fined for it. Now, the thing that I hate about it is going to be held over his head. You got to remember, Anthony Edwards, I believe, was only 20 or 21 years old.
Right.
He's not a really, you know, he's a young man. Young man with a lot, you know, he came in the league, I think, when he was 19. Been in the league for 2 years. He's still fairly young. And it's sad because today's culture, the way we do it, we'll hold it over your head. I mean, look, Kevin Hart is still apologizing for a gay joke he did.
True. That's true.
I mean, it's almost, I think it's been 12 years since he did the joke. And now it's been held over his head, and he even almost cost him the Academy Awards, I believe.
Yeah,
for not doing it because he refused to apologize for it.
Exactly. You know? He's not hosting that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you got to take it in not that it's right. It's not right at all. But you got to take it in context and where the young person is at when they say it. What state of mind they are, you know, have they educated themselves on what's going on? You know, not to say that it's right, but I mean, you also can't just hold them at fault. That's like holding somebody at fault. That's like saying, hey, you smoked a joint when you were 13 years old, so now I'm gonna label you a drug head for the rest of your life. Right? Same thing. You can't do.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. Let me ask you this though, because we've talked about this about young athletes coming in and getting that NIL money and saying, you know, there's got to be somebody around you to kind of guide you right in the right.
Yes.
And we know he's got folks. We know he's got a squad. He's got an entourage or whatever. And maybe they should just have an editor before they start pushing. And it's tough, right? Because now everyone's their own agent and everyone's their own manager and working on their own brand. Yeah. So they're pushing out all of this content themselves as opposed to it going through your traditional journalism house or whatever the case may be. So,
and I think it's tough to at that age though. We gotta be honest. You know, we gotta be honest with ourselves and live in their reality.
Yeah.
Well, a 19-year-old coming into millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He hasn't had any formal. I mean, he's barely educated out of high school, right? I'm pretty sure probably his surrounding is most of his friends from his childhood or a few people he hung around in college who also are not educated on that high level. Should he hire somebody that's a publicist on his Twitter? He might have did that Twitter 2:00 in the morning.
I'm thinking,
You
no,
know,
I,
and I don't
I
know.
bet that's when it happened, right? I
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
that's when it happened.
He's
Late,
at two
late at
o'clock in the
night,
morning, hanging with his friends,
you
doing
know,
whatever, mad about something, and tweet something
having a
like that
drink.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, because he's doing whatever. So I think it just comes with more maturity and understanding where you're at. Now, do I think there should have been a friend there to say you should have always a conscious friend around you that's not a yes man, somebody that's looking at everything that's going around. But
Right.
the reality is they don't have yes men. They don't have guys that are challenge them or challenge what they're doing. They always have these yes people around them in all ways because he's the money train. So yes, yes, yes to the money train, whatever he wants. You know, they're not really monitoring what he's doing, whether it be detrimental to him in the long run or in the short term period. So that's the sad reality of it. That's really sad. Um, I would wish, like you said, that I wish he did. You know, to be honest with you, I wish no professional athlete should have a Twitter account. I think they should have somebody that manages their Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
You know, before they say something. And that's just being me. I think they should all of them definitely during the season always have a bodyguard and always have a driver.
There you go.
You make that much money,
Yeah.
you should always have a bodyguard and always have a driver because it's just too much going on. And with social media, the great thing about social media, the brand is getting so popular. The bad part about it is your target.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the story again. Unfortunately, there was this rapper who got shot at a
PNB Rock. Yeah, he just got killed in Hollywood.
Right. I mean, at a convenience store or at a fast food joint. Again, just you got to have the right people around you. But you can't foresee all these situations. But actions, you know, have consequences.
Yeah.
And if you sending tweets out at 2:00 in the morning talking madness about folks, it's gonna catch up with you. And Adam Silver gonna call you in the office and he gonna take $20,000 out of your account.
Yeah, he's gonna get fined, and I hope he gets fined not only by Adam Silver in the league, but probably fined by the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. And I believe they need to do diversity training and sensitivity training as well with him and have him understand like you're no longer on the block no more. You're no longer with your friends no more. You're a professional athlete, professional brand. You need to be very careful of what you say and be leery of what you say now because what you say doesn't just hang around your local friends anymore. It goes out to the world and to masses for them to see. And that's a bad reflection not only yourself, but also us as the Timberwolves. So that's why I think he should be fined by both. And then two, I think they should turn around and provide, you know, sensitivity training for a young. He's young, man. He's 20. Man, he's early 2021. I don't think he's over. I think he's 21 years old.
Yeah, when you think about it, right, this is probably his first real job, right? And they
probably
didn't even see this as a job, unfortunately, right? So having that advocacy training.
He knows basketball, talking trash on the basketball court, and dunking on somebody, and he knows he's good enough to get paid for it.
And you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm hoping that like I said, I hope he, you know, it doesn't kill his career, but I hope it's a wake up call. You know, those wake up call moments, like here's a teachable moment, learnable moment. You know, don't do it again. Be careful what you say, and also be careful with the company you keep. You know, just be careful with the company you keep it.
That right there, right? That and I think that's what we keep kind of harping on, right? Make sure you keep your circle pretty tight. Make sure you know who's around you. Make sure folks got your six, and just know that, you know, actions have consequences, and you know, don't put the man out to dry just because he made one mistake. But, you know, give him some counseling, give him some guidance, that kind of thing, and don't necessarily make a statement out of him, right? So don't give him the $100,000 fine that they gave Kobe. What Kobe said was rough, right?
Yeah.
But this right here, send the man through some counseling, send this man through some training and things like that, so he can understand what's going on, and then kind of move on, and hopefully things get better. But as long as it doesn't escalate, right? As long as it doesn't get
I think the league's smart enough to understand that we're not all on the level playing field as far as how to handle things and how to speak.
Yeah,
you know, speaking engagements and how to speak. You know, Twitter, how to have Twitter etiquette and all those things. I think the league, I would hope they understand that everybody's not on the same level.
Right.
Again, you gotta take it for what it is. This young man's probably, I believe, from an urban area, wherever he comes from. You know, he's fresh out of high school. He's been in the league for 2 years. He's on, I think, 1 year removed, and he went straight to the pros or something like that. So you got to think this is a 21-year-old man with a lot of money. But listen, a lot of money and little guidance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the now he's the provider of his family. You know, I don't know if his mother, father in his life or whatnot. I'm sure they have an impact, but if they don't know any better, he's not going to know any better, right?
Wow.
But that's not the way they talk where he's from, where they're from, and they talk like that. That's the way he's going to talk. So, and I'm not using it as an excuse at all, but I mean, we got to kind of get an understanding, make sure we give him a little bit of a pass on this. He's going to be slapped on the hand. He's going to be fine. I'm sure he's going to be talked to about it, but it shouldn't be a career killer at all.
Okay.
It should be something he should be able to move past.
I hear you, and we keep mentioning Twitter. I see a gang of folks are on Twitter. Come on out, come on over to YouTube, folks, so you can leave some comments, and so you engage with Montel and myself here. I see someone.
Can you put the YouTube link on the comments so they can see it,
James? Oh man, come on! You know I can do all these things now.
Yeah, that way they can click on it, or they can see it. They can jump on over to the other side.
Let me do. Hold up, wait a minute. You see, I got to look all over. I got all these screens going. You know, let me do that. But let me before I lose track, because I'm getting old. So we talked about this young man should have known better, or maybe doesn't know better because of his surroundings. But there is another man, and we're gonna stay with basketball. We're gonna stay in the NBA, who does know better, but yet and still he's out here talking madness. He also getting fined, and this man needs to be walked out the door. We talked about this earlier in the season as well. Owner of the Suns, Governor, what's his name? Robert Sarver. I'm sorry. Suspended from the league for a year, and he's got the deep pocket. So yeah, they fined him $10 million for comments and statements that he's used. The NBA has issued the following statements that they have fined this man after further investigation that he has used, engaged in instances of inequitable conduct towards female employees, made many sex-related comments in the workplace, made inappropriate comments about the physical appearance of female employees and other women, and on several occasions engaged in inappropriate physical contact towards male employees. Let all that sink in right there. What we talking about, right? And this is not a player. This is not the janitor. This is not an athletic trainer. Yeah, this is the man who owns the team, right?
Yeah, he's a majority owner. He's the man who cuts. He's the one. His name is on the check.
Robert Sarver is suspended and $10 million out of his account, and that's definitely a dent. I don't care how much money you got. That's definitely gonna leave a mark. And again, the investigation was going on since last season. We talked a little bit about this. I'm glad this is coming to this fruition. I'm glad that he's getting this. I don't want to say the word black eye, but I'm glad to see that he's getting this punishment for his actions. I wonder what's going to happen after this, though, right? Because we've seen worse.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be back in the league. I think he'll serve his punishment and pay his fine. I think he'll be back in the league and be back in the offices like he normally would. It's like we just said, it's a slap on the hand for Edwards. This is just a slap on the hand for him that your money can't get you out of your behavior, as far as the NBA is concerned. So you better watch yourself. Does he still feel that way and act that way? Absolutely. I don't think his ways changed very much. The only thing he'll know where to do it and where not to do it. That's the only thing that's going to change. This guy's got deep pockets. Remember, he's not a rule follower. He's a rule maker, right?
Yeah.
In his world.
Yeah.
He's a rule maker.
Yeah. When you're at that level, you feel like you're untouchable, right? And you feel like you're above the laws and rules and the regulations. And you're right. It's been going on for so long, and just blatant men and women and just players, employees, all of that. You're right. That's at his core, right? That's just not the John Gruden emails.
Yeah,
right?
This
is truly how this man feels.
I think that's this man's personality. I think he feels he's above things. I think he feels he can treat people that are on the same economic status as him any way he wants to. The problem that has been he hasn't ran into the right person, right? He hasn't called the right person the wrong name that'll end up, putting a 1-2 combination on it.
Yeah.
And don't care how much money he has. Well, I think
so. Think about this, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. What's happening, Mr. Jim Fuse? I see you, man. Appreciate you for joining. So think about Coach. Think about Chris Paul. Think about some of these high value athletes and coaches and people that are above the team. Really, right? They're brands in and of themselves. And
Yeah.
what does this do for them working
Well,
for this individual? Does this say I now immediately want to be traded? I don't want to be a part of this organization. If
no,
this is the
I don't.
culture,
I
talk
don't
to me
think you're
about
walking
that.
away from the bag like that. I think. See, I think I know where you're going with it. They're not walking away from the bag like that. I
Wow.
think.
Okay.
I believe Chris Paul was part of the Donald Sterling situation as well.
Mhm.
When it happened in the Clippers, he was there when the Clippers had, and he was there. He was wearing the shirt. Remember, they refused to play for Donald Sterling. I think this is a little bit different. I don't think Sarver treats his players and them like that. I don't think he crosses that line with them because, again, different economic status. He treats them different. They're the ones that bring in a little bit of money that he makes already. He
Okay.
doesn't treat those guys. These are accusations he made with people that work in the front office with him, people that he worked with in there. So people that are making that $60,000, $70,000 a year, $50,000 a year, people that are interns, people that are secretaries, people that are just within HR, whichever the group's up. He treated those people like that. He didn't treat players like that.
Okay.
And I
So,
don't think
you don't put him in the same boat as a Donald Sterling.
You know what? I think he has Donald Sterling some in him.
He's
I
got,
believe
he's got some of them tendencies. He's got some of them tendencies in him.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah,
The guy is a misogynistic, racist
jerk.
bully.
Yeah.
Bully.
Yeah.
And he does it to people he feel he can do that to. Again, he hasn't crossed it with the wrong person. I think people in that office are fear for him because they know he cuts the checks, right? So he's cutting the checks. It's probably more money than ever made. So they choose to kind of keep their mouth shut or ignore it or let it be passé. I think if you cross the wrong person, again, I think he'll get a 1-2 piece, and then he wouldn't say that no more, at least to that one person anymore. But I believe that's his character makeup. He believes he's above everything. And like you said, $10 million is a lot of money, but to him, I don't believe it is. He's like, all right, whatever. I'll still own my team. It's still my team. I'm not running it day to day like I'm there, but I'm indirectly running it. So whatever goes on with the team, trust me, he gets a memo about it in his home email, and he has input on whatever goes on with the team still. He's just not physically there anymore, and he can't physically go to any of the games. So it's a slap on the wrist. It's definitely the NBA's kind of making some noise. Say, hey, we investigated this, and we found this is what we're going to do. But it wasn't so detrimental when we think we need to get rid of out of the league. And let's remember, he owns the WNBA team and the NBA.
Okay,
team.
so that you already kind of read my mind there. That's kind of where I was going. So, hey, what's happening to you, DJ Rob? Appreciate you being here, man, as well. So, as a fan, does this, and I'm just trying to pick at a wound here, right? As a fan, does this cause you to not go into the stands and support the teams that are owned by this man because you know it's kind of dirty mindset coming from the ownership level? Do you still go out there and wear your Chris Paul jersey? Do you still go out there and support the teams?
We've seen it time and time again. Winning trumps everything, and the fans as well.
Okay.
If the Suns are winning,
okay,
they're going to support. And unfortunately, a piece of that pie goes into his pocket, but that's because he's the owner. But I think fans are going to continue to support. And you got to look at the market they're in. They're in Phoenix. It's not a lot of other things they can do. Like if it was in LA,
where Sterling was, it's just too hot in Phoenix to do too much else, man. You got to be inside.
Exactly. So you go to the game in LA, but in LA with Sterling, they know if Sterling was there and they got bad blood with the fans. There's alternatives to do for the fans.
All right.
There's a ton of alternative things to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to watch basketball. I can go watch the Lakers because we have another professional team and support them right across the way. I can go watch colleges. I can go to the beach. I can go all that. In Arizona, there's not that. You don't have those options like that. So
unless you play golf, right? Unless you win them golf.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this again. I'm gonna keep picking at these scabs until we move on. And folks in the audience, chime in on how you feel about this as well. When is too much too much? Right? When as a fan, let me ask as a fan first, and then maybe as a player, one of those high dollar, high value personnel. When is too much too much? What could he say and or do to make you say, man, I can't rock with these folks no more? I got to change my allegiance or something.
In the world today, I think if you had something on video, him belligerent somebody, calling them the N-word, or calling somebody out of their name that was real derogatory, I think that would warrant one like that, especially as a fan or as a player. To be honest with you, man, that's pretty much it. Unless he had some sexual allegation charges or some crazy stuff going on like that. But That's pretty much it, man. That'll cancel you the culture, and that'll make people say that's enough.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Okay.
if it's done behind closed doors and nobody sees it, and it's just speculation, and the team they find them 10 million. Most people will say that's suffice enough. We'll move on. It's not. We'll keep it going. It'll be something that's not talked about in the next month or so. So I don't think that'll cancel them. Now, as a player, if he's doing something disruptive in the organization, or something that's bad with the players or with their situation, that's what probably will cause them to quit. Remember, front office and the players are pretty much two different worlds.
True.
The sports part of it and the business part of it are completely different. The only way it merges is with the CEO and the GMs. They only merge in that part, but otherwise it's all completely different. Basketball is basketball. They have trainers, strength conditioning coaches. That's all on that payroll side. The HR benefits, day-to-day operations is done on the business side, which they never see. So it's kind of two different worlds working under one umbrella.
Well, as long as he keep his nose clean and don't mess up Devin Booker's paper or Chris Paul's endorsements. What was Chris Paul, State Farm or as long as he don't mess up that, we'll see. But he's gonna get his just due. Like I say, getting fined, getting suspended, and hopefully get some corrective action on that. And I'm glad that the decision was.
Hey, just like
swift.
I said, Edwards, he needs to take some sensitivity training as well.
Right.
They should mandatory make him do the same exact thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Terrible. All right. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk a little bit more positive about what's going on. NBA, a lot of NBA stuff. A lot of NBA, well, a lot of basketball stuff.
Yep.
How many teams we got? How many teams we got in the NBA?
I'm not mistaken. Damn, I don't even know.
Listen, don't worry about it because we don't have enough. We're trying to get two more teams. We trying to get some more teams, and look at Las Vegas just coming through. They got the Raiders now. Now they about to get possibly an NBA team. Seattle. They got
a hockey team.
Man,
both got hockey teams already. Yeah, so
these are some good markets now. These are some hot markets to have professional sports. They got everything, right? Hockey, soccer, baseball, basketball, football, and now another WNBA. Or I'm sorry, another NBA team. I love this.
Two.
I love this.
So we got two, and I think the NBA has realized what the NFL realized 2 years ago, that the Las Vegas market can sustain professional sports.
Yeah.
Without it being, at least so far, without being so corrupted with the sports gambling. That doesn't want to play an effect. We got to see, like we said, Las Vegas has hockey, professional football, they have professional soccer, they have a WNBA team who's about to win the championship. They're up right now, I believe.
There you go. Yes, sir. They're doing it.
They're about to, and now they're gonna have a males basketball team. And I think they saw it going there anyway. I mean, look at the success they've had with the summer league there. Yeah. And I believe the WNBA team there, the Aces, I think they've sold out more games than any other of WNBA team. It may be for the exception of Seattle, to be honest with you. So they see that market as a hot market for basketball. Why not take advantage of it? In Seattle, we already know the Supersonics should have never left.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that
we can talk old school folks. We can definitely talk about that. Yeah, the Supersonics should have never left. Where my man Sean Kemp at? God,
man, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Douglas Shrimp. They had the squad over there.
Yeah, they should have never disbanded that. But I'm excited about this, especially to Vegas, because I've been to some of the summer league stuff, and I've been to the Mac Center right there. And you're right, the environment out there in Vegas. I'm not even talking about the gambling piece, right? I'm not even talking about anything happening on the strip. I'm just saying that's just a good place to converge and have sports because it's wide open. You got enough access for everything. It's not congested. Who knows where they'll probably build the stadium? Who knows if there's already something that's up already, right? So they may not have to build anything. Just play at the Mac Center. But I really like this. And Seattle's just a cool town too. Seattle,
man. I think those two teams are going to be obviously great markets for the NBA. Obviously, that means they pillar them both on the West Coast. That means they're going to have to move one of the teams, I think, in the Midwest to the East Coast.
Yeah, that's what I got kind of highlighted here. They're talking about they're going to have to reshuffle the conferences a little bit.
Yeah, so I think Memphis is definitely going to be probably going to the East now. Out of one of them, I don't know who the second team will be. I know they say Minnesota might be, but I do definitely know Memphis will be there. I would think Memphis and New Orleans would go back to the East Coast.
Yeah.
And everyone else stays on the West.
Yeah, yeah, Memphis just makes sense on the East, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Yeah, Josh is him and his squad just seem to fit better with the East style of basketball. So, but we'll see how this works out. I don't know if there was a specific date. I just know that they were going to talk about this during the meetings with the owners and things like that. And he said that the league would, at some point through talks were not ongoing, so they're still talking about having this. But folks in the audience, what do you think about this, Mr. Fuse? I see your comment. We gonna get into this. We gonna get into your Deshaun Watson comment. We've talked about Deshaun quite a bit, but yeah, this is exciting. This is exciting. So this is the men. Can't leave the ladies out because they balling out here too. Ladies are balling. They talking about expanding as well on the WNBA side. And, like you said, they're still playing the finals right now. And the Bay Area is one of these top 10 cities that maybe end up getting the squad. So
yeah, I think the WNBA. I mean, we talked about this.
Okay, but where? So let me think about it. But where? Because it's not Oakland. Can't be Oakland.
No, it has to be San Francisco.
Man, that's too much in San Francisco.
Well, you got to think of what these leagues are aligning themselves.
Yeah, help me out with this one because I don't know where, but I'm trying to think about it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's so much entertainment. I would like them to be in San Jose, to be honest with you. San Jose would be great.
There you go. That makes sense to me there. Out there with the Sharks, great. Right? With the hockey squad, because that's a real tight-knit sports town right there, small enough, and they love their Sharks, the hockey team, and I would love to see that. Well, heck, I'd love to see them come back up here to Sacramento. I'm not sure why the Monarchs are going, to be honest with you, but
I will hope the WNBA sees itself expanding like maybe every 3 years so they can get to the market where they want. Because like I said, man, I think that brand of basketball, if anybody's a purist in basketball, that brand of basketball is very, very good.
Yeah.
And I think the WNBA, like I told you, if they market a little bit better, do a little bit different things, I think it's going to be a league that blows up, and these wonderful athletes that are women are going to be able to get more and more exposure and do their thing. But the fact that now they're at a point where, hey, we're at a point where we can actually expand and get more of a fan base and get more of a thing. That just shows how fast it's starting to grow. And hopefully, this is my wishful thinking. I said, man, when they do that, I hope Brittany Griner is back and she's the franchise player, whatever new organization they have.
Yeah, she
just kind of set it all up just to kind of make it the perfect storm.
Yeah, Brittany needs to be back for sure. Talking about in terms of these teams by the 2025 season, so a year and a half, and we can have some more. I still remember going to some of the Sacramento Monarchs games. And the energy that was in there, everyone at a home game would stand up, right? Until the home team scored, nobody would sit down, right? The energy would just be so dynamic that you'd all stand on your feet until the home team scored, and that energy just carried out through the entire game. And from what I still see on TV, because unfortunately we don't have the team anymore, that's still hype, that still energy level is still at these games. And look, you and me being girl dads. Right, we love seeing that piece right there. We just love seeing women out there doing big things like that.
And we got to talk about all aspects. Not only does it open the doors for more female athletes to play, but also in the business world of sports administration, right? It opens more doors for people to get involved with that, and local talent to get involved with that. I think more graphic designers, more people that are going to be announcing games, more people that are going to be doing whatever. Understanding the concessions and all that stuff. I think it just opens up the door for so much more of a job market for some people that want to get in there. Now, we know it's limited because it's a sports franchise and it could only hire so many. But the fact of the matter, they feel that it's at a point where it can expand. I think that speaks volumes of how fast the sport is starting to grow. And we're starting to see some big things coming out of the WNBA and NBA. And any sports fanatic will be happy, I think.
Man, listen, we're gonna buy tickets. We're going to be in the stands for sure. I've been to this town that my man Jim Fuse is talking about. Have you been to Nashville?
Yes. Oh, Nashville's beautiful.
Man, what you think about Nashville getting the team out there, getting
man? I think they can sustain it.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. The last time I was in Nashville, I was there the night Marcus Mariota got drafted.
Oh wow!
I was right there on that strip. I was on that main strip. I was there for a corporate event, and let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something.
Yeah.
Nashville is off the chain. Nashville,
It-
they some
I, I,
sports fanatics. It's
I would
a
tell
popping
anybody
in
that
town.
who hasn't had the privilege to go to Nashville,
Man, get out there.
go to Nashville on a Friday and Saturday night, and it will change your whole entire mind of what
Nashville
that
is
city has.
truth.
Not to mention that it's a beautiful state. It's just
Yeah.
a beautiful. Tennessee's a beautiful state.
Yeah.
People, they have. You know, it's funny. They have that mixture. They have that Southern hospitality
Yeah.
there going on. They definitely have that Southern, that Southern flair of cooking, but they also got, to be honest with you, man, they got kind of a Silicon Valley business mind acumen that's going on there as well, with things with all the conventions and stuff go there. And then they just have their own world with the country music and the music stuff that's going on down there, and the entertainment district they have. I think, man, it's a great place.
Dude, they got
to
Dolly
be able
World,
to
brother.
support.
Come on, they got Dolly World.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
you
man,
can't
they got-
you can't mess with anybody that got Dolly Parton's land. You can't mess with that.
Nashville got it going on, man. So I think they can sustain the team. I think that would be a great place to have an NBA organization, because they've already supported football and hockey.
Yes.
Why not basketball?
Yeah, that would be nice for sure. That would, because keep putting them in LA all the time. I mean, there's already, LA is large. There's enough room and there's enough an audience. But man, you already got you got the Anaheim Angels. You got the LA Rams. You got the San Diego right. You got all these other squads already. So down in your neck of the woods, you got the San Diego Padres. I mean, I know it's a few miles.
Well,
distance.
the argument will be is the market. Can the market sustain two teams, right? Because I know they can sustain. They sustain it in football, right? You have the tennis. I mean, let's go college football. The Volunteers have their own world. Vanderbilt has their own world, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
Memphis is not that far away, so the state supports Memphis, right? The entire state's behind Memphis and doing what they're doing. The Grizzlies having a team in Nashville now divides the state, and maybe it's not the market is not as strong as it was if you only had one team. That would be the only argument. I think they can probably try to drive up, because you got to think, everybody supports the Titans, right? The whole state supports the Titans,
right?
The biggest college, everyone supports Tennessee Volunteers, regardless about Vanderbilt. Even they support them. They support Tennessee Volunteers.
True.
They support the Memphis Grizzlies. So the whole state supports one team. You throw another professional team in that cabinet, it kind of messes it up. I don't know how that goes. I don't know how that works. But I'm all for it, man. That's just
it'll be interesting to see for sure. It will be definitely interesting to see for sure, man. And we just wish it happens, right? Because again, we want to see all this action happen. Okay, let's move over to I got some football stories, and before I go into my football story, I want to be cognizant of the man hitters asking questions, because we talked about I didn't think we'd have to talk about Deshaun no more. Jim Fuse is talking about what do you think of how the NFL handled Deshaun Watson incident versus the Calvin Ridley situation?
I can tell you, and I can sum that in one sentence.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson sells a lot more tickets than Calvin Ridley.
Say that one more time.
That's why it's handled that way. Deshaun Watson is going to sell out stadiums. Calvin Ridley, I think, is a dynamic player, and I know he got the raw end of the deal, but he's not selling out the Atlanta Falcons stadium. Deshaun Watson's going to sell out Cleveland on his first day.
I had to go off screen because when I said that, Siri kicked off for some reason. She thought I was talking to her. I'm like, man, I ain't talking to you, young ladies.
So, I mean, I hope that answers this question. I mean, let's be honest, it's all about dollars.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. I think the situation, Calvin really got the raw end of the deal. Been suspended for the whole year. And then Deshaun Watson does this, and he only gets suspended, I believe, 6 weeks. And but he only lost a year. People forget Deshaun lost a year as well. So he's been actually suspended for a year and 6 weeks, or a year and 8 weeks, however long he's going to be suspended. And he's asked to pay all his fines and do all that stuff. So I think Deshaun Watson, they know he's going to sell out tickets. The first day he's announced he's going to be the starter that week in that game, that stadium is going to be sold out. Whether he's on the road or at home, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's going to sell out because everybody wants to be there for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. And Jim, you ask great questions, man, here, but how does it affect the women fans' view of NFL? And you know what? I was going to say, check out some of the old sessions that we talked about, but we didn't necessarily go into that aspect of it, right? The female football fans and how they are
What?
reacting. We talked about again the
And I
victims
can answer that question. I can answer that question from the NFL standpoint.
yeah.
They don't care. Because if they did, this whole scenario would have been drawn out differently. They don't care. Don't get me wrong. I think they value the female fan, but not to a point where they're going to say, "Hey, we're going to get rid of one of our star players that is selling out stadiums," because half the women fan are still going to support it anyway, regardless. Just like they did with Colin Kaepernick. They didn't care that black people were affected or mad about it. They didn't. If they would have, they would have did something different. They were reactive to the situation. They don't care on the grand scheme of things. They'll band-aid things up. They'll make Deshaun Watson maybe do some type of speech, some type of communication, say he's sorry. He'll do some training, or he'll do some things where he has to go to some counseling about this situation, and then it's done with it. Let's move on to the next. We'll survive anything that we deal with within the NFL because our monster is so big. There's very nothing socially that can kind of stop us.
Because it hasn't. Yeah. I'm gonna say the problem with that, and for me, it's not you, it's what you're saying, but the fact that what you're actually saying is unfortunately brutally honest, right?
Yeah.
That the machine is more concerned about the dollars and cents as opposed to the mindset and the common sense, right? Of how this is affecting people in society. So. Again, it's the Al Davis, just win. And if you win, then that's what it's all about. We got butts in seats. If you don't come to the stadium, 2 other people will buy your PSL, right? Your seat license, and we'll still fill up the stadium and sell out these hot dogs. It's unfortunate that is the way that society is and the way that professional business is. Don't forget sports. It's just business. Right? This is a lot of dollars and a lot of coin going back and forth. This isn't just merch sales. Right? These are $100 million men out there. So yeah, the brutally honest piece of it is just it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with a lot of folks. But
it sucks, but it's reality, man. I mean, we have to. That's why we do this show, right? To bring that kind of conversation.
And it always tears us up, right? I mean, we always have to sit down and have a drink or something because it always so emotional, draining, right? You know, why can't people just get right?
It's not always the best answer or the feel good answer. It's the right. It's what's really the reality answer. And the reality answer is, I believe they don't care because let's like I said, let's be honest. If NFL really cared about social events that go on and affect people, Colin Kaepernick thing would have been a campaign that would have squashed so many things. They would have been giving money to the George Floyd Foundation. They would have understood when those things happened in Minneapolis and Minnesota. Just by his gesture, they would have understood we need to get guns off the streets. We need to make sure that we're all against police brutality, not just black people or other people against it. Everyone. So Deshaun Watson is just another cog. Okay? Because if they weren't, they would have did something back in the day when Ben Roethlisberger did something to a woman. They would have said something then.
Yeah.
They would have been advocates then, like, we're not going to tolerate this. We're done. You know, if you do anything that's crazy, we're going to do something. We're going to do something drastic to you as a player if you somehow violate a woman's or a woman's rights. They choose to address it a little bit, massage it over, put that man back in the seats, and let's go. And the only one they couldn't smooth out, is Ray Rice because it was on camera.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
That was the only one they couldn't smooth out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, if that was not on camera, they would have figured a way to smooth that one out as well. Because they do it so many times on other issues as well for star players. That's the honest reality of it, unfortunately. You know, and each incident never stops us from watching football for long periods of time. We'll watch maybe a year, we'll say we're not going to watch it.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, right? Yeah, they said we want to protest football, and then you know,
but for some reason
we're a forgiving society, and we come back.
We come back and we turn it back on and watch it. So, and you know, me and you are both guilty of the same thing as well.
You're right. And Jim is saying it right here, right? NFL is the worst of all, in my opinion, as far as hypocrisy, and you were absolutely right. You were absolutely right.
My question is, are you still going to watch the game? That's the question. Will you know?
Yeah.
I know you say some hypocrisy is worst opinion and all these things, but the question is, will you watch a game? Will you when you're driving, when you're in a bar, are you going to glance and watch the game? When you're at home and you're flipping through the channels, are you going to stop and watch a couple of plays and see what's going on?
You look up in the dictionary the definition of a fan, right?
Yeah,
Short
exactly.
for fanatic, right? We still do. I mean, and so we again, it's one of those. I got one finger pointing at you and three fingers pointing back at me. We're all guilty, but I like how you took that turn just now and said, yeah, this is what we do, right? This is why Team No Sleep exists, right? To have these conversations, to at least let folks and us as well look ourselves in the mirror and say, man, can we do something better? Can we at least have these conversations? Can we try to help put a bend in the universe and spread the word to these athletes, these fans, these coaches, these constituents, everyone to, let's not go around beating up on our spouses. Let's not go around tweeting this crazy madness. Let's not go around doing all these things.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the NFL put together a fight against domestic violence policy, a fight against domestic abuse program in place?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they said every game there was one of the stars on the thing, I'm against domestic violence. Please don't, if it's a situation, call 911, call the police, right? If they did something like that, a campaign that was to go nationwide that basically is free for them because it doesn't cost them really that money to air it on every station they air a football game, look how powerful that'd be. But on the flip side, they don't do that, and look how many domestic cases do we have within the NFL every year.
If they would switch up, just now thinking about what you said, if they would switch up and take the slogans off of the helmets and put dial, what is it, 899, the suicide prevention hotline, the power of just that, right? And you're right, man. If someone would just peel off that one slogan of "Can't we all get along" or whatever, yeah, we all want to get along and all too, but you put that 899 number on there, right? The suicide prevention number, and that just changes that conversation. You put up a mental awareness hotline or a slogan or something, and reaching out for help. I think you were right, and more folks will pay attention to the NFL, even as opposed to some of the other sports, because the NFL is such a powerful business organization.
Look how powerful the NFL is. Pink. They wear pink something every day for breast awareness, right?
Right.
Every day. Every year they wear it for one game. They wrap pink socks or pink something they rock.
Yeah.
They do that. And they do something for the veterans, right?
Right.
The armed forces.
Right.
Look how powerful that is.
True. Because we remember, so right? We remember because it sticks out and it resonates, right?
It sticks out and it sticks out. So can you imagine if they said, you know what, we're going to flip that. And let's be honest with you. I believe the breast cancer awareness, great foundation, great thing. I don't know if the NFL benefits any money from that, but I think they had some people that were affected by that. And that's why they decided to take on that cause. The military, originally from they do that, they paid the NFL to do it. They were giving the NFL money for them to be able to do that. So that's why the NFL does the soldiers and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if they took, like I said, a drop of a dime of their money and said, hey, we're going to choose one cause every year to fight against that we think is an injustice within our community. Whether it be police brutality, whether it be drug awareness, whether it be suicide, whether it be mental health, whether it be anything, they said we're going to put our driving force behind it and let's see if we can make an impactful difference. Guarantee they would. But since, again, they're ran by 32 older white guys that really don't care about what's going on in society unless it's in their circle, except for the exception of one. He's not white. He's one. Jacksonville's not. 31 white guys and the other guy. Since they don't want to put their mechanism behind it, it doesn't rain any. The NBA does more of a social impact with lesser teams and less of a crowd than football does. Remember when they were putting Black Lives Matter on the back of their jersey? Right. They were wearing the shirts. They were making a social conscious statement. NFL fines you for doing that. When players do that.
And the players were doing that themselves as opposed to necessarily coming top down from the league. So when you got the LeBron Jameses and you got the Steph Currys, you got those types.
Well, you got the Adam Silvermans. Adam Silverman's is like, yo, do it.
Yeah,
I'm all in. You guys want to do that as collectively as a group? We're backing you guys up. Man, Commissioner Goodell ain't.
Well, he's scared.
He gets that paycheck for them 32 guys. He ain't doing nothing unless they get the all okay. And those guys don't really get the okay on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Goodell is already he's not going to stir up too much more because he's already skating on thin ice.
The only one owner is Rooney.
Yes. Yeah.
Rooney. Rooney is the only owner that he's behind his players, his coaches, his staffs, and he believes. I truly believe he believes in diversity. He believes in pushing that
Shout out to my
diversity.
Steelers boy, and because
Yeah,
they don't just speak it, they do it too, right?
they
That's true.
do.
That's true.
They do it. They
Yeah.
do it on every aspect. So I applaud their organization because they back that up. So anything with social justice, like you said, the Deshaun Watson thing like that, if there was an issue and Rooney was like, no, we need to get behind domestic violence or stop, sexual assault. If he wanted to get behind it, he would back his whole team. He would enforce it within his organization. I truly believe that. But I don't give him a pass because he did cover up the Ben Roethlisberger thing. Maybe that's where this all came from. So there's still some. He ain't all squeaky.
It all comes back. It all comes back to some. My Steelers can't get it right.
He seems like he's doing the right thing now. They seem like the organization's
my Steelers having a hard time. So okay, we'll get back to now. Let's talk about the overall NFL and what's going on before we lead with this final story. I know you were watching because we are fans, we are fanatics, we are football enthusiasts. Game one of some real action. You got your starters. You got your first team out there doing some things. You see anything that surprised you first couple of games?
Not really, man. I think you know what? I tend not to watch commentators or these analysts because they put so much on it. You know, they put all this on it. They're making these high expectations. I think the only thing that I saw that was really surprising, a lot of big injuries in the first week. Like, with Watt got injured, Dak Prescott got injured.
Yeah.
Mixon got injured during the game with Pittsburgh. I mean, we got a lot of big time players with injuries, which was kind of bizarre from week one.
Now some of that was field conditions too. Now.
Well, I think that might have played some of the part, but I mean, in all honesty, it was just a weird thing to see. I never really seen where that so many injuries kind of happened in week one to so many, star players or players that are really out there, like, they're supposed to be so-called superstars.
Yeah.
That was kind of strange. Otherwise, man, like, people are jumping the gun. People losing game one or losing week one. Seattle's 1-0 and everybody in that conference is 0-1. The Rams lost week. I mean, they're putting a little bit too much on it, man. It's week one. And if you're going to catch any good team slipping, it is week 1 through 3 because they haven't got everything implemented yet. Everybody hasn't adjusted yet. Everybody hasn't got, the dust hasn't settled.
A lot of starters didn't even play in preseason, right? So they really they're getting hit for the first time in quite a few months, right? Yeah, that's true. So, but the only one that didn't but check it out. But the only one that did stink it up was the
Cowboys. They were bad.
The only one that did stink it up was them Cowboys.
Yeah, but I mean, again, man, that injury. I mean, even though they stunk it up, which doesn't surprise me because we just saw Denver stink it up a little bit as well with Russell.
Yeah, with the Seahawks, man. And that whole situation
he stunk it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So all that being said, people stinking it up. I think again, it's week one. Those kinks haven't been ironed out yet. Things haven't done. I'm not a big Dallas fan. I thought Dallas, they played bad. Except their defense. The defense played pretty damn good. Offense looked bad. Dak didn't look that good. And now he's hurt, so now he's set back in now another 4 to 6 weeks. All those things. I mean, if we're gonna talk about a team, let's just talk about the Steelers and Cincinnati game. That game was crazy.
That game should not have gone to overtime. That game should not have gone the way it went.
No one even wanted to win the game. No one wanted to win. Najee Harris got hurt. He's hurt during the game. Watt got hurt during the game. Mixon got hurt during the end of the game. I mean, we got all these people getting injured so fast and so furious. I mean, that's probably the most standout thing that stood out to me about week one. As far as wins and losses, I think it's too early to determine who's going to win the Super Bowl now, who's supposed to be the best team.
Especially with a longer season, right?
Yes.
Especially with this much longer season now. So, I mean, these athletes, and they know this, right? That they got to condition themselves for the much longer haul now because they got this 17 games to go through.
I did think, man, Aaron Rodgers. Well, let me talk about first. Las Vegas Raiders didn't play very well either. I thought they were going to come out a little bit better than they were. Mm-hmm. I thought Pardon used all his weapons. He tried to force it to start receiver way too much instead of hitting the tight end and running back. But Aaron Rodgers, man.
Oh, man.
His frustration His
He's so
frustration,
mad. He's so mad.
man, dude. But you
He ain't got
gotta
no
give him.
friend. He don't have
I
no
mean, he's been
friends
telling us for
he
3
don't have
weeks.
no friends on the line right now.
Think about it though. He's been telling us for 3 weeks. Somebody's got to step up and be a receiver. Second play of the game, he throws a play action, hits the guy in stride, right in his hands, and he drops the ball for a touchdown.
Right. And come on, man. And Aaron is one. There's many goats, and Rodgers is he can still play. He can ball out with all of them. And man, he doesn't have any weapons that he trusts. He's got some young cats that can ball a little bit, but if you're gonna drop that bomb that's right in your hands,
bro, his frustration on his
he's not
face.
throwing no more balls that way.
Oh man, he was just like, I ain't giving nobody the ball no more.
Man.
I'm gonna hold on to it and get sacked before I throw y'all the rock anymore. So, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see him how this goes through the year. Me personally, I'm gonna call it right now. I don't think Roger makes it through the year. I think at some point he's just gonna be like, you know what? I done took too many hits. I'm hurt. Love, go ahead and take all the snaps you want and be my guest until we get some people.
Okay, I tell you what. So that one last story that I want to talk about is about an Aaron Rodgers story. So we gonna lead into that. Before we go into that, I'm gonna go ahead and play this call to action for folks. Yeah, man. Listen, every Tuesday, y'all, we come and do this 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Team No Sleep. Make sure you subscribe so you get all of the updates. We typically stream on Twitter. I still see a gang of folks over there. You know, we love you. We love you, but again, you can't engage and you can't interact unless you come on over here to the tube of you. And soon we probably gonna turn off Facebook because I don't like Facebook, so we may turn that off and just go straight to YouTube. So come on over here to see what we do. All right, Aaron Rodgers, man. Let's go into this right here because this was an interesting story, and I saw his interview with Aaron Andrews, but Aaron Rodgers, right, for the past few years has been in search of himself. No, I don't know what else to say, but he's been in search of himself, trying to find a fountain of youth, trying to find the TB12 mentality without taking TB12. He messed around and went to Costa Rica. He went somewhere and started drinking some juice. He had to get that juice. And I wish I could pronounce it correctly. Ayahuasca is a beverage, which is an intoxicant, or not? It's a psychedelic brew. And I'm using the word. Yeah, it was in Peru, a psychedelic brew called Ayahuasca. Back in 2020 is when he started to take that. And his statement is, ever since he been drinking his drink, that's how he got 2 straight MVPs.
Aaron like getting faded, boy.
Right, he out here drinking his moonshine, drinking this Ayahuasca, and it's not a banned substance from a performance enhancing perspective. It's not a banned substance from a quote unquote drug side, and he wishes everyone would just leave him alone and let him do his thing. No one's ever really heard of it, but Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and he's got resources. He's going to Peru and he's doing his thing. He thinks that this is really what's helping him maintain his longevity, making him maintain his ability to again win back-to-back MVPs, and he's going to keep doing what he's doing. You're saying that you think that he may not, even though his body can do it, even though he's still got the skills, even though he's still got the game, he can force some things to happen. You don't think that if he's got the tools and the weapons and the synergy, the non-vocal communication that he had with other receivers, right? If he doesn't have that connection, that he may end up either walking, retiring, or sitting out. What do you think?
I think he just shuts it down early. I think I think small injuries become big injuries when you're losing and things aren't going your way.
Okay.
When the season's not going quite the way he wants to, you got to think if we're week 12, and they're at 3 and 8 or 3 and 9.
Yeah,
I don't see him finish off the last 5 games. I see him saying, you know what, I'm going to give my body time to heal. I've been beat up all season. I'm shutting it down. Let Love take these snaps and get his draft status up so we can go get us another receiver to come in here, a lead receiver. I just don't see him doing that. As far as this is concerned, I mean, I thought a psychedelic was against drug substance rules, and I guess
he is Aaron Rodgers.
It doesn't pertain to Aaron Rodgers, I guess so. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me, especially with star players, because I remember back in the day, Ray Lewis was taking ground up deer antlers. He was putting that in his protein drink, and he said that's what helped him do the things he did. So I think NFL players, these athletes are always looking for special ways to make sure they keep their body in sync, in order. Everybody wants somewhat of an advantage without using illegal drugs, and these things give them. If they feel this gives them that advantage, and it's not part of the policy, I'm okay for it. I don't think this gives them an unfair advantage on the field by taking a psychedelic drug. So why not? Go ahead. I don't have a problem with it, but if it's on the ban list or if it's on the rules list, I think he should be held accountable like everybody else.
I agree. I mean, verbatim, his statement right here, he says, to be way more free at work, as a leader, as a teammate, as a friend, and as a lover. I really feel like that experience paved the way for me to have the best season of my career. So Aaron Rodgers is going to continue to drink his ayahuasca.
That's a hell of a beer, right?
You see what I'm saying? That's man, that I might have to get me some of that IPA.
Right? Yeah, I might have to try to get some of that shit going over here, man. Wow.
I might have to get rid of my Modelo and get me some of this. Well, we won't talk about, okay. But we'll see how that works out. Week 1 did not look good. All the Packer fans, no cheese heads, were walking around, wearing their cheese heads just this past week. But again, it's a long season. We'll see what happens. It's an interesting time. Are you watching what's going on with the WNBA right now? I'm not even trailing the game to see what's going on.
It's a commercial right now. I don't know the score, but I believe the Aces are winning. Las Vegas team was winning last time I checked.
Man, Las Vegas, they're the ones that kicked Sue Bird and ended her storied career. So shouts out to her because she is the GOAT from that perspective, and she don't need to come back. She doesn't have anything else to prove. So
going to college. She needs to go into commentating and coaching. She's good.
Go into coaching. That's what I think she needs to do as well, man. Not bad show today, brother. Not bad. We had some negativity to talk about. We got that aired out, but we kind of ended it with some little bit of positive stuff and some jokey jokes. Not making fun of Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not gonna go order no ayahuasca off Amazon, but I'm just gonna see how he continues to progress and do better with his game.
There you go. But, that's his fountain of youth. But definitely before we end the show, man, I want to give a shout out to those people in Memphis. I know they went through a lot last week. I hope my prayers is up to the victims and the families and those unfortunate situations happen. And then also, like we mentioned earlier, PNB Rock, a rapper from Los Angeles, he was slain in front of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. From a botched robbery. Man, just too much killing, man, and it's crazy. He's died on the day, I believe this is the day Pac got shot as well. Pac, wow, I believe. Okay. So this is crazy, man. We got all this energy just kind of going on, and I wish just we could do better. I know someone wrote a quote today that I read: "People that are hurt people." And I think we need to stop hurting as a society so we can quit hurting each other. So, man, all you can do is say prayers, man. Definitely stay on people about their mental health, and the exercise and all that stuff. But we got to get right, folks. We can't keep having these things happen in our community.
I like that, man. That's profound. I'm gonna end with that as well, man. I'm not even gonna cloudy that, brother. So be well, everyone. Check us out. Come back Tuesday. Hey, feed us some inquiries and some information. If you got some stories that you'd like us to cover and go a little bit deeper in, let us know. If you want to come on screen with Montel and I, listen, I can make it happen. We can have 10 people on here, and we can chop it up and have a roundtable discussion about all things, anything, social impact of sport. Until then, y'all be good yourself. We out.